Yeah. Hi, I'm Jamie Schmotzer, an instructor with the Old World Alliance, and with the 4th of July holiday coming up here in the States, I want to do a rather extensive video on how to build a fire. You know, some people, they don't build very many fires, you know, a couple times a year, whatever, and they throw gasoline on it to start it and that sort of thing. And today we're gonna do a fire with no gasoline and no lighter fluid, none of that stuff. We're going to use all natural materials, and I'm going to show you from start to finish how to do this. So stay tuned all the way to the end. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button and hit like and get the, I don't know, the bells over here, whatever, do all that good stuff, and stay with me. So we're going to start over here with some things that I already brought with me, trying to do it in a way that might be familiar to a lot of you. At one of the local grocery stores, they have this kindling. Now I've already used some, but it comes in different sizes, as you can see on the inside. Some of them are more square, some of them are real thin. So I got a bundle of these because some of you might want to just buy that. Okay, so you buy a thing of kindling if you can't find it yourself. And down in here we've got a bundle of firewood that you might buy at a gas station or a grocery store. Okay, now normally I wouldn't buy these, but I'm trying to do the video for, you know, people that might not have their own wood. They might be buying it at the store, but we still need to supplement it with some other things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this bundle of firewood here by the fire right here, and we'll make sure not to touch any of the poison ivy that's around here. I'm going to grab the kindling that I bought at a store, put that here, and now I'm going to talk about something else that you can go to Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those sort of places, and you can buy Fatwood. Okay, now a big thing of Fatwood like this, let's see how much is in there. That doesn't say by weight, I don't see it, but anyway, your Fatwood is awesome stuff. Now what is Fatwood? Recently, a friend of mine thought that Fatwood was some sort of processed thing. I don't exactly know what was going on in that mind. But what is Fatwood? Fatwood is pine that is very resinous. So let's say, for example, you were to chop down a pine tree down at the base. The tree doesn't know that it's dead, and the roots are going to keep pumping up sap and keep pumping up sap into the stump, and that stump is going to get very, very resinous. And then you hack up the stump, you find this very resinous wood. Also at the crotch of a tree you might be able to find some, but it's all natural, 100% natural of Fatwood. And so you get yourself a bag of this, and I will show you later how to use this effectively. I'm going to put that over here too. All right, so we got that. You should only need to use one stick of the Fatwood. Now in here, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, right? Are you loving it? So what we got in here, we got some pine needles, we've got some pencil lead, some pencil thick stuff. This is kindling, and we need a whole bunch of kindling. So not only do we have one McDonald's bag, what do you know, we got another one. And in this one, we've got a bunch of birch bark, a whole bunch of birch bark. We've got more pine. This is pencil lead thick. This is more pencil. And if that wasn't enough, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, here's another McDonald's bag. Inside of here we have, this comes off of oak, okay? See how thin and dry that is? We're going to use that as a tinder material, okay? And if that wasn't enough McDonald's bags, there's a theme going on here. Here's yet another one. McDonald's bag number 5. Some of these are thumb size. See that? That's thumb size. We still got some needles that are pencil lead size. We got some pencil. We got some thumb. What do you know? Another McDonald's bag. This is more thumb size type stuff. So we've got that. We've got all kind of good stuff. We've got some pine cones in here. Right? Pine cones with resin on it. Look at that. It's beautiful. We're going to go get some more of those, actually. Now, what else do we got? We've got some, this is cedar. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that later. We're going to make some curls with it. Nice piece of cedar that I got. In here, what do we have? All right, so in here we've got, I don't know how well that's coming through on film, but we've got a whole bunch of birch bark. We've got some cattail fluff. We've got some real fine fibers, not right sure where that came from, but this will make good tinder, okay? We've got in here, this is Phragmites that I collected. There's a few videos on YouTube. If you want to see me collecting Phragmites, we'll use some of that. Okay, now, as you can see, I'm constantly collecting tinder. I've got 6 McDonald's bags here. I don't go to McDonald's every day. I've been collecting tinder. When I see it, I grab it. Look, here's another bag. What's that from? The Hartville Kitchen, Hartville Hardware. Pine cones, pine needles. When I see the stuff, I grab it. Because I never know when I'm going to be making my next fire. And I want to make sure that when I do, I've got all the stuff that I need. Okay? Now, this is what happens to a lot of people. They're on their way camping. They're going to their favorite campground, and they stop at a gas station. They buy a bundle of firewood, but they don't have any tinder. They don't have any kindling. And how do you get logs to catch on fire if you don't have tinder and kindling to produce the flame and all of the heat to catch those logs on fire? So for me, it starts with grab some pine cones, grab some needles, grab the birch bark. I mean, I saw a birch tree the other day. Look at this. This is beautiful. Now, you might not know that. A lot of my viewers probably do know how awesome birch bark is, how awesome Fatwood is. But if you're a beginner, if you want to start a fire without using lighter fluid and gasoline and all that, the success of fire making is really 90% preparation, right? You want to have all the things that you need ahead of time before you need it, and you want to have plenty of it. So, even though I have plenty here to start a fire, copper tube, by the way, just a copper tube. See if there's any spiders living in there. I'll blow it out. This is it's basically a bellows to blow air into a fire if I'm having trouble. It's all preparation. Do you have a little saw? You know, this is a Baco Laplander. I can, you cut wood with that. I can make feather sticks with a knife. That's a Mora Eldris. What else do I got in here? I've got, there's just a Mora Companion. Great little knife. Cheap, inexpensive. Do you have the stuff that you need to build that fire? Here, I keep this really cheap Black & Decker in my car. It's always there. You know, if you see something, I can grab it. I can be prepared. Now, how are we going to go from wanting a fire when all you got are those big logs that you buy at a gas station? How are we going to get all the small stuff that we need if you don't have 6 or 7 McDonald's bags all ready to go? Well, we're going to go out right now and we're going to find some stuff. So, stick with me.
wondering why we're stopping here.
Well, Rachel Lane, let me tell you why we're stopping here. It is currently, what, June 28th or something like that?
I think so.
And yet there's still dried grasses from fall, right? This right here. This is dried grass, right? This is thicker stuff. You grab some of that, right? And over here, as you can see, you've got these dried grasses. Now, dried grasses are great. Grab some of that. You don't need a whole lot, but enough to make a good bird's nest. And here, now when you're making a bird's nest, you want some coarse stuff on the bottom, and you want some thinner stuff, just like a bird's nest. A bird would make it, right? So this is all nice and dry. We're gonna make it into a bird's nest, right? And make a little hole in the bottom. We want some air to be able to get through. And we want a space where we can put even finer stuff. All right, so we'll grab that. But that's the thing, if you still have dried grass, you grab some dried grass. Put that in the back here and we'll be on our way. Because one of the most valuable resources, if you have it available, are pine trees. So let's go find some pine. Something with the gutters over there. So now what I'm looking for is some dead branches. Lower on the pine trees, and I see a couple, but I think the pine trees on the other side are going to have more to offer. So let's go take a look at them. Oh, look at all the pine needles at the base of those trees. We're going to grab some of that. Oh, and there are some pine cones. So I'm going to pull over here and we're going to get some of that. There we go. All right, so let's see here. We've got, oh, see, look at that. There's a pine cone right here. And you see that one over there that's got the white stuff on it? That's resin. So I'm going to sneak under here and grab this pine cone. There we go. That's got resin on it. It's beautiful. And while I'm here, there's all this pine needles. So I'm going to grab some of that too. But what's really looking nice is look right over here.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, come on over. See, at the base of the pine tree, let's get real close. Now listen carefully. Let's let the car go by. Listen carefully. You hear that? Snap. If it snaps like that, it's good and dry. So I'm going to grab some of this. This one has needles on it. We don't want to take that. We want to take the ones that are snapping. All right, all these ones that are snapping, we're going to grab a whole bunch of this, right? Grab these. That one's got needles on it. We'll leave that alone. That one's a little bendy. Snap. Snap. Right, we're going to take the ones that snap. All right. So we're going to grab a whole bunch here, the snappy kind. If it bends, we don't want it. If it snaps, we do. And thank you, Rachel Wayne. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a method that I like. Let's go back over to the gator real quick. And I can grab this one too. Might as well. Nice and snappy. I don't care what size they are. They're all going to be good. And there we go. There's some more. See, this is just regular pine tree. I'm going to grab whatever I can. Right? All right. So let's go back over here. Grab that one, this one. Okay. So let's go back to the gator. And I'm going to show you something that I like to do personally. All right. So we got all this pine. I want it to be about, I don't want it too crazy long. So something like this, okay? This is a good bundle. Now I'd like to have 2 bundles like that. And what I like to do is I like to grab some jute twine just to keep things kind of tidy. And I don't know when I'm gonna necessarily use what I gather. It might be a little while. And I'm just gonna put a bowline knot in here. You wanna come real close? So I always make knots the same way. So I have it like this. I'm going to twist with my right hand and make a loop. Right, and the rabbit's going to come out of the hole, around the tree, back in the hole. Tighten that up, see that? And we've got a bowline knot. Now what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to wrap it around my bundle. Just a couple times. Just kind of like that, okay? And on the other end, grab my knife, I'll just cut that here. See, what's nice about this, see, and just crank down on that dude, just like that, okay? Now what's nice about this is now it's all ready. It's all in a bundle, right? And just tie some kind of knot on here to keep it from falling apart. All right, just any old overhand knot will do. There we go. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this together, and I'm going to grab another one. Okay, this is all ready to go. And I'm going to burn it this way too. You'll see later. I'm just going to throw that whole thing on. I'm going to throw that in there. Let's make another bowline here. All right, so I'm going to take the end there. I'm going to twist with my right finger, make that loop. And the rabbit comes out of the hole, right, around the tree, back in the hole. And there you go. There's our bowline. So now I'm going to go back over. I'm going to get some more of those pine. I want a whole nother bundle, just like the first one. So get all up in here. And if it snaps, here we go. Snap, 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 snap. Now these I'm going to kind of fold over, right? All right, snap. Get these all up in here. There we go. All right, these are all dead. There's no reason for them to stay on the tree. There's every reason for me to burn them. Fold this over. There's some little guys over here. Grab some of that. So Rachel Wayne, is this poison ivy I'm stepping in right now?
I don't know, but I could look at it. I'm also not supposed to touch pine because Rachel Wayne is allergic to pine trees.
Rachel Wayne's allergic to pine trees.
So if you're allergic like me, you probably shouldn't be having a pine
I am not.
fire.
I'll drink pine needle tea.
There's a beer made with pine sap. I don't drink
didn't
that
know.
either.
So look at that. It's got resin on it so that some of the needles are sticking to the cone. Right, and now I can grab, look at this, Rachel.
That is poison ivy, actually. You're right.
Yep.
The one
Leaves
over
of,
further away.
Leaves of 3.
Yeah.
Leave them be.
Oh, sorry, I was zooming in on
Yeah.
the poison ivy there.
And then we've got a whole handful of pine needles, so we're going to grab some of that too. There is such an abundance of pine needles, I don't need to take them all. So let's go back to the gator once again. I'm going to put these needles in a bag. There we go, with more needles. Once again, I'm going to take this nice bundle. There's a nice pine cone. I'm going to take this bundle and kind of fold it over. Right, get some of the stuff in there. I'm going to take the end of that jute and just kind of wrap this up. You'll see why I'm doing this later, but part of it is just to keep it together, really. Just trying to keep it together nice and tight. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this. There we go. And yeah, these will be more than enough to do the job. So we're going to tie that through that loop, crank down the other way in reverse, and then just find any old place to make a good knot. Right, there works just fine. That'll help keep it together, and we're going to put that in here. Right, so now we've got 2 of these. Okay, now this is going to be enough. If you want to get more than that, if you want to plan ahead, you want to be prepared with more, but this will be enough for the fire that I'm making today. Okay, so put my knife back in the sheath, get the jute all wrapped up and ready to go. There we go. And let's get back to the campsite.
Don't hit me.
All right, so I happen to know that right in here, there's some tulip poplar. See that? Let's see if you're right in there.
That or the leaves there?
No, the stuff with all the bark that's kind of peeling off there.
Oh.
You see that?
Yeah.
That is all tulip poplar, okay? So I want to grab some of that. And because the bark of the tulip poplar is very good for making birds' nests, okay? So I'm going to grab some of that. Now, which of this is poison ivy? That's a leaf of 3.
No, that's a leaf of 5. This is not poison ivy because it's got 5.
No, but
this
what
is
about
fine.
that one over there?
This is poison ivy there.
That one's poison ivy.
This one here.
Okay, so I should smash your face all up into there then, yeah?
Well, if you want to send me to the emergency room, and I'm uninsured, so.
I know. Okay, well, hey, you know what we'll do? We're going to go to the other side. So let's zip around to the other side.
This side, you could walk in here, I think. It's a path, a deer path. This is like a little deer path.
Oh, looky, Rachel Lane. So this is a great example of what I want to show you. That's poison ivy right there, isn't it?
Yeah, but I didn't touch that.
Okay.
I touched this one with my knee, but
Okay.
it's fine.
So
Sorry, video people, you gotta listen to us have a conversation.
that's okay, Rachel Ann. So look, here's the thing. You see this right here?
Hang on.
This is a perfect example. You see how this bark is peeling off?
I can see that. This is tulip poplar, you said?
This is tulip poplar. So basically what I want to do is I want to try to get, this is a little damp. It's been raining a lot lately. But you see how that's just basically peeling off? This makes really good, the inner bark makes really good bird's nest material. Real super fine. And I don't need to take a whole lot today. But basically what I'm going to do, I'll show you here.
4th of July, though, it's a whole weekend.
It is a whole
We have
weekend.
many fires.
So you see how there's an outer bark? Here's an outer bark. See that? There's the outer bark and then there's the inner bark. Is that coming through? So Rachel, when you just asked me a question about is this a tulip tree or tulip poplar, and like frankly I don't know, and honestly I don't care, but what I do care about is this. You see how the bark's coming off, right? You can see that. And this is dead, so I can grab some, but what I care about are the properties. And the properties are such that this bark just peels right off. Even though this is a little tiny one, this has got the right stuff. Okay, and so to me, I don't really need to know. Wow, that is interesting. Take a look at that, Rachel.
How it's bent, yeah.
You see how the branch is here?
Yeah.
And then it wraps around and then comes this way. Okay, I'm going to leave that. But see, this is the property I'm looking for. See how that just comes right off? This bark just peels right off. Right? That's what I want. I want this peeling bark. And what I'm going to do, I want to show you something. I'm going to get back out of the poison ivy here. Is there's the outer bark. This is the harder, dark stuff. Okay? And on the other side, there's the inner bark. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to process this. Get up real close. See all the dust coming off of that? See that? Is it hopefully
I
it's
can
coming
see it,
through?
yeah.
Okay, when I process this, part of what's happening is I'm loosening up the outer bark, which I don't really care for, and I'm getting to the more fibrous, see all the dust on my paws? I'm getting to the more fibrous inner bark, okay? And if this outer bark falls off, I don't care. I don't want that anyway. What I want is the inner bark, and I'm going to tear on it. I'm going to twist it. I'm going to try to manipulate these fibers and break them, okay? And again, you see the dust falling off, the dust getting all over my hands, and right? This is what we want. This is the good stuff, okay? Now, you remember the dried grasses from before and how I left a little divot in there? That's to put something like this in there. So we're going to hang on to this. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in my pocket so that if it were a little damp, even my body heat would help to dry that off. And we're going to look for something else that I know is out here. So let's walk this way. What I'm looking for now is some grapevine, and I see some right over there. So let's go this way. Here's some deer tracks. Actually, you know what I want to do? A friend of mine is a tracker, Kit Lynn. What I want is for you to tell me, take a look at these tracks. What is that? All right, and there's some over there. How are things going over there in Italy? So we're gonna do that. All right, so grapevine. Grapevine is all around. It's killing trees. See it all over the place. But we've got some right over here. Now you see this vine? It's all tangled up in there. That's all grapevine. Now the thing about the grapevine is that it's really pretty coarse, okay? So you see right here how this is actually, look at this. This is actually punky vine. See how easy I could just break that open? That's not going to really do me any good. So let's move on to a different one. But that is grapevine. Let's just find some that's not all punky. So where do we see some more? I know there's a bunch out here. There we go. Here's some good grapevine. So watch the poison ivy. So right here, right, we see this grapevine. This is still alive, obviously, right? And what I want to do is on the side here, this stuff can pull off. If you find a good place, like here, see that? See how this just pulls right off? Okay, now this is not going to be as fine as that tulip poplar, but it gives us some coarser material to put in with our bird's nest. So like over here, Rachel, check this out. See how this just kind of peels off? Just kind of peels off. Maybe I can get a good strip from under here, right? This one's not peeling off long-wise, but maybe we'll check that one out. I'm gonna go over there. All right, so there we go. So now I can just grab it and just pull some off. All right, there we go. This is what I wanted you to see. See how this is just pulling off in long strips now, right? Just pull it off in long strips. Okay, now this stuff, this I can put in my bird's nest and it'll be a coarser material. So let's get back to the gator and get back to the campsite after that. Okay, so we've got these from before. All right, I'm going to set those right there. We've got that Kindling, we've got the Fatwood. The first thing I'm going to do, we're going to talk a little bit about fire lays, okay? So, we've got the wood. Now there's all kind of different ways to set up a fire. The way that I typically do it is like this. I'm going to grab some pieces that are logs but still on the smaller side, and I'm going to put down a base, okay? I'm going to put down a little platform or a base just like this, okay? Now what that does, lately it's been raining a lot, it keeps it up off the ground, and it also allows for some air to get through, right? And I'm going to build the fire on top of that, because if you build a fire and it's only burning up, well, why not have it go burning down too? So I'm going to put a backdrop right like that. There we go. There's a backdrop. That's going to give me some height, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these two bundles. These bundles right here, and I'm going to overlap them right like that, okay? See that? And inside of there is where I'm going to put my bird's nest. So let's go get the bird's nest. Rachel Wayne?
I'm coming.
So remember I got these dried grasses earlier from the driveway, okay? And I got some of this grapevine. So the grapevine I'm going to put on the bottom, okay? Just kind of put that on the bottom, okay? Because what I'm going to do is after I get this going, I'm going to flip the bird's nest upside down so that it burns from the finest stuff here in the middle of the bird's nest through to thicker and thicker, coarser material on top. And that only happens when I flip it over, right? So now I'm going to grab some of this, what I call oak snot. It's just pollen. Okay, I'm going to grab some of that. And I'm going to put that right in the middle. It's very dried. Come over here, please. Let's see, we can see all the layers, right? We've got the grapevine. We've got some of this coarser grass, thinner grass. We've got some of the oak snot that I call it, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on another layer. We're going to put some of this pine needle, all right? Why not? Let's put some more oak on there, okay? Right in there. Let's grab a big old piece of birch bark and let's just tear it up. All right, we're just going to tear up some of that and put it in there. This is going to go up like crazy, people. So once you see this thing go, you're going to realize you really just don't need to be using lighter fluid. You don't need to be using gasoline. All right, let's put some more of the pine on there. Let's put some more of this oak, okay? And then, remember it was in my pocket? Is the real fine stuff, right? This was the tulip poplar, okay? I'm gonna put that in there. If I was gonna make a flint and steel fire, that's what I'd use, right there, okay? And so now we have a big old bird's nest, right? Lots of different layers. I'm gonna set this over here on the stump so that when we're ready for it, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that in upside down. Come over, see from this angle. I'm gonna take this, and once it's lit, I'm gonna put it in upside down right in there, okay? That's the plan, okay? Now, before I do that, what I want to do is I'm going to take this bag. I've got pine needles. I've got pine cones in here. I'm going to make a little bed. I'm going to make a little bed for my bird's nest to go on top of. I'm just going to put that all up in there, right? I got pine cones, right? That's all there. Now this by itself would probably be more than enough to start that fire, but we want to make sure that it goes up real good. All right, so I'm going to put all that in there. Okay. And one match is going to make it go up. Not a problem. Okay, now on the outside, what I'm going to do is a little something like that. Just put this on the outside, right? Because once this all starts going, there's going to be all of this heat coming up. And I want to take advantage of all the heat while it's there, okay? I'm going to put this one right up here, up front. Take advantage of that heat, right like that. And it's just going to go up like crazy. There's a couple of these sticks here. I'll just put those off to the side a little bit. All right, just like that. That'll be fine. Now, I talked about fatwood. What am I going to do with the fatwood? Well, I'm going to put some right in here, and I'm going to show you how. Let me grab my knife. All right, so with this, I'm just going to make some real tiny curls. See those little curls coming off of there? Put some of that in there. And I guarantee you, I can't fail with this. I just can't. This is gonna go up like nobody's business. Look at that. Put that fatwood. I'm not even using the whole stick, right? We've got all that left. Okay, and this is gonna go up like crazy. All right. Let's put the knife away. All right, so we've got this bird's nest. I'm gonna take the picture from this side because we can see the inside of the fire better. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this to it, and then I'm gonna set it upside down right in there, okay? Now, real easy, I'm gonna put it to the little piece of fatwood. Right, now it's going, it smells so good. Right, now I'm not gonna throw it down. I'm not gonna be all scared that I have fire in my hand. I'm just gonna gradually start to put it upside down. Okay, I'm gonna come down here. I'm not gonna throw it, I'm gonna place it where I want it. Okay, so just like that. See that? It's gonna start to grow. I don't wanna smother it. Right? Now at a certain point, I can let go. Okay, now remember I've got this kindling stuff all ready to go also. So I'm gonna start putting some of that in there. You don't wanna put on fire or more wood until the fire is higher than the flames. So right now it's higher than the flames, so I can feel free to put some more on. Which is what I'm doing. Just put some of this stuff I got from the gas station right on there. All right, maybe put some up here. Doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to get the job done, right? All right, so I can walk away at this point. That's gonna, catch on fire. Right? Now look at all that heat. That's gonna catch the big stuff quite readily. Right? So I can start adding some bigger stuff on top if I want. Right? That, nice and hot. The triangle of fire is heat, fuel, and oxygen. Right? We got plenty of heat right now. This is crazy. Plenty of heat. We've got the fuel in there. We've got plenty of oxygen. We've got everything we need right now for this fire, right? And what did it take? Just a little flick of a bic. But all of that preparation leads to this crazy hot fire. I can throw all kind of stuff on there right now. And we didn't need any gasoline, we didn't need any lighter fluid. That's gonna burn down. There's gonna be great coals underneath because I built it on a platform so that not only is the fire burning up, it's also burning down into that raft or that platform on the bottom. And it's gonna catch those logs on fire. And it's gonna burn for a good long time. So that's how you build a fire. 90% preparation. The easiest part was flicking that bic. That was the easiest part. Look at how hot that is.